And we are back. It is time for Act 2. We have some pathing to consider. The boss at the end of the act is the Guardian, which makes me feel real good about this multicast.
Bronze, Guardian, Champion.
Oh, it's Champion.
Champ. Their names are so similar. You know, they all kind of mix together.
I appreciate the leniency you're giving me there.
I'm serious. I still mix them up. And we cross games too, right? Sentient, Salient, Sentry.
Honestly, I mentioned the card art thing of I look at a card, split it into quadrants, look at the maximum color, and that just tells me what card it is.
Have you considered you may be an AI? You don't need the name. You just have to have the approximate shape, and that defines your behavior.
I'm in a reasonable period of my machine learning. I will occasionally identify one of the bosses in this game to be, Will Smith. That was a failure. But then
this
next
is a stop
time,
sign.
I'll know it's not Will Smith because someone in the comments will tell me it's not Will Smith. My whole channel has just been a process of creating a machine AI.
Progressive learning through chat. That's scary.
Exactly.
I just keep identifying the heart as a stop sign, and it might just be true.
I mean, you don't continue playing after that, right?
Right. That's true. Yeah.
We've got a couple different path options here. We had the preserved insect turn up last floor. As you astutely mentioned off camera, that gives us the ability to push for 4 elites on this floor, as well as possibly the Emerald Elite, but we should have a little bit of a consideration of other things.
Mm-hmm.
Although
There's not a lot of other great paths, is there? I mean, okay, so here's something that I like to do sometimes that makes pathing a little bit easier. I'm about to get into kind of graph theory, but
I love it. Please. Give me the Dijkstra's algorithm for this. I need to know the breadth firsts.
So you look for these points or moments in the Spire to where if you get to a certain node, you can still access all of the rest of the future nodes that matter. And that is it right there. Exactly. So we don't have to be certain about our beginning pathing. As long as we're sure about how many fights and question marks we want up to that point, we can then change our mind about where we go afterwards with the optionality of going to a merchant or the strong elite path or even bailing out to the right. So oftentimes when I'm not sure, it's like, well, I'm going to know better once I have more information anyway.
Okay, perfect. So we can just make it to that point before we make a decision.
Yep.
I like it. Just looking at the different paths that we can cut out of, we can still get 3 elites if we even go off to this side, get a rest afterwards, get a little bit more time to get a couple more cards, and then the double elite at the end.
Sure. Honestly, all of those paths are reasonable, right?
Should we go for the triple fight early, or do we want to leave some easies in the pool for possibly this is our 3rd easy or something like that?
Well, there's only 2 easies in Acts 2 and 3 anyway.
Oh, okay, yeah, so we're burning them anyway.
I think we can go double question mark here, though, and the reason for considering double question mark is having a chance, as I said before, to potentially grab apparitions while we still have this fruit juice, just because that's such an advantageous interaction.
Love the idea. Ooh. This is a damage turn.
So, okay. So do we ever blow one of our potions on this turn? Like overblock slightly with block potion to go Dark Strike.
Love it. Well, Dark Strike or Strike? I don't know
Maybe
if we get the dark out in time,
Yeah, because we're just going to play Electrodynamics and win, right? Oh, and we'd like to Genetic. Yeah, we should split damage a little bit.
Yes. Speaking of Electro. Oh, no! Trader bottle.
Nobody can remember you.
Impossible to do so. Okay, so we've got it in the next hand. I don't know if that's going to push enough damage though. We could hologram back a
recursion.
Yeah. Oh no, get the zap back. So for the
good call. Yeah, good call.
Why did I not play it?
It's impossible to remember these cards, Rhapsody. We've already established that.
It's fine. We had multicast in this hand. We were always fine.
That was such a beautiful interaction. Just incredible. It's been established. Yeah, I think what do we have for Storm? Nothing?
We have Birdface Urn as well as the Electrodynamics, but we have very little power support in this deck, and also the things that we do don't necessarily want us to get that many of the powers from the defect.
It's true.
Bias
It's hard
cognition
for me to
defrag.
turn my eye the other way because my most fun moments are walking into the Awoken one and saying, now Twitch chat, remember that when you play powers, this enemy gets stronger, and then spamming 28 powers and winning the fight. So it's hard for me to look away from that storm knowing what it could become, but I think you're right that this deck doesn't want it right now. You gotta be a little prudent, right? Just a little bit.
Just a touch if you can spare the time. Ooh, darkness back? Yeah, maybe.
Yes, I do like bringing the darkness back.
Do we want to burn the genetic algorithm? No, we can go for another cycle. It's fine. Bring darkness back. Apotheosis instead.
Oh, never mind. Yeah, I agree. Hopefully we can block long enough to genetic, but if we have to just kill here to save 20 life or whatever, then we should kill. Yup.
Yep. Very glad we could do that. Ooh. I mean, we could burn this. No, we're before the 3 question marks we're about to hit, so let's have a look at this instead.
Okay, so
we could put a static in here.
I do really like the static.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do really like the static.
Do we want to...
This is interesting. Are we over-optimizing? We should probably just blow the fruit juice, right?
Yeah.
I'd like to have the... Especially if we're going to try to go left, I'd like to have the potions. Could use some card draw.
We definitely could.
Forward.
Unfortunately, we don't get to do any of that this turn. Should... I mean, like... no, because this fight's solved when we get to the electrodynamics. Just get there as fast as possible.
Agreed. Just like recurse, strike, and rebound nothing. Yeah. And I like what you did there, because I tend to do this too. When I have a plan to win this via AoE, I still tend to burn down one of the birds quickly just to reduce that damage profile, right? So I'll often kill one single target and then multi-target the other two with a deck like this.
I'm going to stop playing right now. Yeah, just in case.
I think that's pretty wise. Yeah.
But yeah, I too many times I've been burned by going, I will hit these with my AoE card, and then the AoE card is the final card that I get. And I'm like, man, if I was just burning one of them down this whole time, I would have saved so much life.
Agree. Genetic is like 30 block almost already.
Oh, damn, it is. I was still like, this is 18. It's not enough.
Yeah, this card is big.
Big. B-I-double-G.
We could have actually played static there, and it like might have killed the back one or something crazy because it's upgraded. But playing the genetics feels better, I think.
Because we weren't necessarily going to get back to it in this cycle, especially after this. Never mind.
Rest in cultist.
I was just waiting for the multicast. Oh, pre-upgrade. Core surge, though. That sets us up.
I think it's core. Yeah, I think it's core. It's really good front-loaded damage in the worst case. We will defeat you with our electrodynamics. It is glued in position 16, but we will find it.
Oh, God.
Who do you want to... Do you want to just actually... wait, we have static discharge and we played Apotheosis.
Ink bottles in 2 as well.
Wait, okay, so that's okay, though. How much does electrodynamics cost?
2.
Proposal. We should have done it first, but we'll do it now anyway. Play the colorless potion. And then we can go boot sequence colorless. Perfect. Boot sequence. And then...
If nothing else, this got us closer to the electrodynamics of the deck, so it's still good.
And we can like static and genetic, and that's just an awesome turn. Because the static discharge will close the fight for us.
Okay, yeah. I was wondering exactly how we were going to get the genetic out, whether or not we wanted to set something else up that turn, but this is nice.
I think we can afford to just blow it early here, right? We're not cycling, really.
Oh, hell yes! This... Look at this hand.
It's once the Apotheosis goes live. You know what I really appreciate? So oftentimes I talk about, I'm in the middle of a run, right? And people are like, why don't you want Apotheosis here? And I'm like, because it's... Oh, do you want a turbo, actually? One turbo for the road?
You're gonna have to tell me on the turbo for this deck.
So here are the reasons for turbo.
Okay.
When we do get some card draw online, like that turn that we had, and whenever we have hologram as an example, which is effective card draw, or ink bottle, it gives us a bit more energy to saturate the hand. It's also important for specific hands, like hands to where we draw electrodynamics and still want to do something. It can pump up our multicast for bigger closes with the darkness. It's just like a bit more tempo with the deck that we have, and with just a tiny bit of card draw, it gets so much better.
Okay. I like it, especially with the strength potion as well. I'm very happy to go over onto the left now.
And Dupot turbo with a, if we are lucky to get turbo multicast on a turn, that's just like a winning line. I like fish. We have courier. It's early enough.
We do have courier, but realistically, how many more cards are we going to take?
23.
Really?
Like, I'm just being, you asked for a realistic answer.
No, because like I'm looking at this deck and I'm like, yo, I want to add a little bit more defense.
Yeah, no, you're right. We shouldn't take a lot of cards.
So if we're not taking a lot of cards, we...
Okay, you're right. It's a good key. It's a good key. If we really don't take more than 5 cards, then it's a 50 gold key, and that's a fair trade.
Mm-hmm.
I'm perhaps being too silly, but I know me so well.
That's okay.
But playing
I mean,
the
like,
Apotheosis is good. And that's what I was going to say earlier, is that we got it from the beginning, and so we built our deck to support it. That's what's so different than... Oh, do you want to just turbo multicast here, actually? Just
oh,
ding,
hell
ding,
yeah.
ding, 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 ding.
Yeah, let's pop it. Oh, don't you dare!
What? That's impossible. Oh my gosh. That's hilarious. It's going to be fine.
So
that's a lot of damage.
Back when the defect initially came out, I had a rule with myself, and it was literally just the orb will always hit the worst target. Always act as though it will hit the worst target.
That's funny.
Ugh.
We have a really cool turn here, though, which is we can play all of these cards like multiple times, and also we can rebound the hologram, which is a super strong play.
Okay, so it'd be zap, hologram, back to zap, recursion. Oh, sorry. Zap, rebound, hologram, back to zap, recursion, core surge.
Yeah, and maybe looping in the core surge somewhere depending on when we do damage. Or maybe do we core surge? Do we core surge the Gremlin Wizard first, or do we leave them as a target because rebound can kill either Gremlin Wizard or the other if they get recursed? This is over-optimizing, probably. As long as we kill these 2 targets and we rebound the hologram, then it's a great turn, I think.
Surely we can just start out with zap recursion before we do anything else.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. Come on! You know what? Eventually the Gremlin lead is going to go down, and these are still going to be on the field. It's going to be really annoying.
Yeah. Yeah. Might as well.
Surge, rebound, hollow back, get the zap, see if that kills the frontliner for us. There it does.
Nice, nice.
Oh, I forgot that we had genetic algorithms still in this deck.
It's kind of wild.
No reason not to just go for the... Actually gave it the time, just in case.
Nice catch, nice catch.
Thank you, thank you.
Look at that. Imagine focus.
Some focus would be nice.
Just a defragment plus goes so far.
How much focus do we really need? Oh, I could have static discharge for 1 health there. Oh, hello.
Oh, yeah.
1, 2, 3. Currently, but not really. Generates 1 also. So,
Yep. And it makes the turbo such a better pick. There's our effective card draw. And there's the defrag. Whoa! I think it's worth. Maybe it's our upgrade.
Yeah.
Because if we draw it before... Yeah.
That's the point I was about to make. The upgrades after an Apotheosis oftentimes end up on the cards that you will play if you get them before the Apotheosis.
Yep.
Alright. Get him, Book of Stabbing.
Nice.
Oh, get
Plus
extra
HP
health.
Book of Stabbing, and we get to demonstrate. Okay, do we do any potion use on turn 1? Like, do we strength pot in this fight, or are we saving that for Tri-Slavers?
I think we burn boot sequence before we decide anything.
Yeah, good call. Honestly, I think we're quite good at this fight. Huh, yeah, you just keep on going, and you keep on going, and you keep on going, and you keep on going. Nice.
If we use hologram, we don't even get the... Oh, wait, no, you're on a 5x2, not even 3. Oh.
So, you remember those times when it started on 3? It's so scary.
Yeah, screw it. Oh,
nice. Nice draw.
Settle.
Next turn is Apotheosis Turbo. Oh, 1 call's good.
Let's oh no, we're not going to be able to play the compile driver afterwards, get to the turbo.
You could recurse this Frost Orb to get just a little block online, or are we just going to go full in on static discharge value?
I was going to recurse defend compile driver, try and go for...
And just not do the... Electro thing.
Yeah, no, Electro here is just generating 3 lightning, right? Because the enemy is not an AoE fight.
Right. Yeah.
I'm comfortable setting up the darkness now.
You won't get to keep it for very long with static discharge. But
Right.
maybe that's okay.
Forgot about the static discharge.
Static discharge does win this fight for what it's worth, so, and the frost orb makes it even better.
Let's just rebound nothing.
You could rebound the multicast if you wanted to just have that set up for next turn with the turbo and just do a ton of damage.
Okay, I was thinking that we needed to hold on to that frost orb for a little longer, but I like this idea.
Yeah.
Oh, there's the turbo.
This is the turn.
So this would be
we should play genetic.
7 by 10, 70. Yeah, so we should play the genetic at least.
And the core surge, I think.
28.
Ooh, and actually, if we cool-headed, then Whoa, but it doesn't matter. Yeah, I think we just multi. Oh, are you gonna consume first?
I mean, because we're not getting the kill here anyway.
Yeah, I think that's fair. And it means that the static discharge will kill them very quickly when they do actually hit us one time. This is so weird. Somehow we're able to be tanky and incredibly offensive at the same time. What happens if you just play consume? What happens? We take 7. We're on 6 lightning or 6 focus, and we have 3 static discharge.
Consume,
so
and
we
can
take
even sell the
7.
zap as well. So.
Oh my gosh. I think that's just the winningest line. Yeah. I don't think they get this full attack in. Not even really close.
Get him.
Nice. Nice
Oh,
mobbing,
hey,
actually.
we got it back.
Okay. Oh, wow. Wait, is it?
We have 2 in the deck. 3 in the deck.
Actually, I really do like this creative AI. I really do. Do I? We have Dead Branch. Do we need the 3-cost card that generates us power?
I don't know. It's exactly the thing I was specifically looking at the middle of the dead branch. Just like, I feel like I might end up with too many cards and not the ability to play them all. The force field isn't as bad as I was initially thinking. We do have 3 in the deck, and we're likely
force
to pick
field
up
can be
another
incredible, and it plays really well into that all for one that you mentioned. It's one of my favorite all for one interactions, actually, which is not a card that we currently have, but it's a card that we imagine having.
You know what?
When we're driving down the street in our Maserati. Oh my God, we're so rich.
Hell yeah! After we won the lottery. I mean, just burn it. It gets 1 less this turn, but it's fine.
It's all set up. Go for the eye. Ink Bottle is out here putting in work. We're not sure who it's working for, but it is putting in work.
Ink Bottle is a double agent.
That's right.
Yeah.
Good turn.
I think it's definitely good enough. What I really want at the absolute least is a couple double energies. I just take those
just
with
a couple.
reckless abandon when I get a dead branch.
Yeah, it's really strong combo. You know, Birdface Urn has once again proven that 2 health is so much more than you think. It's actually wild how effective Birdfaced is at sustaining a run. I mean, particularly this character, I think.
You never think about it because, or at least, you know, initially you don't think about it because it's such a small amount. You don't think about how often you trigger it.
That's right. But you only need 3 or 4 powers in your deck for that to be better than Burning Blood. And Burning Blood is a starting relic. The starting relics are explicitly pretty good.
I'm just going to play 2 powers, get some HP back.
There it is. We healed.
Oh, I mean, it's pre-upgraded. We have no weak source in the deck yet.
So this is the point to where I start to be not sure about Go for the Eyes. I think if we already had the Ultra one again, I would be more into it. The problem with Go for the Eyes is it's one of my favorite cards. If you get it early and support it with more artifact stripping, Defect really struggles to strip artifact, which means that it will not be nearly as consistent as a source of weak where it matters against bosses like Donu Deka, against the Act 4 elites, and against the Heart in later stages. So with the genetic algorithms in the deck, we're not really struggling to produce big block anyway. It would be good against Champ if we think we need just a little bit more leverage, but I think that we could get away with not taking this card.
So is this the part where you're about to pivot and tell me why a second turbo would be good?
Listen, all right. It's not very hard to convince me to pick up more turbo. Look at that little man. Look at that defect.
He's so fast.
He's so fast. He's produced clouds. His speed is so high that it altered meteorology, as far as I can tell.
Yeah, Cirrocumulus is just down here at just like eye level.
Yeah, yeah.
Or
so
is he running so fast he's flying?
perhaps this is actual flight, a robot made of metal in the sky.
I feel like we don't have enough sources of draw or pseudo draw to really support it yet.
We don't need it yet. We don't need it yet. Turbo is an interesting balance to where there is a point to where you draw a hand with 3 turbos and you kind of look at yourself in the mirror, you know, old you, and you cry.
I was thinking it was gonna be and then the Curb Your Enthusiasm theme plays. I kind of want to burn this. Yeah, actually, I'll
Yeah,
anyway.
and we've got Turbo. Oh my god, it's the Alpha one, it's here.
Give him the work. We've even got a hologram.
We can just do it because it's going to bring back Turbo, and then we get to play it again, which we're going to do to get the kills here.
I mean, we get 1 kill.
That's worth it. By the time we're redrawing the other stuff, it's not going to matter.
Okay.
And those voids, they're power. And look, we set up our ink bottle more, too. It's like a win-win-win-win-win.
Oh, I should have played the defend. Keep forgetting about that ink bottle unless it's destroying my life.
You know, I use a mod that I like called Minty Spire. That kind of has some visual reminders of things that are frequently forgotten, like Stone Calendar going off. And I figure I can be your Minty Spire, right? I can just occasionally really subtly work the word ink or bottle into a phrase as a bit of subliminal messaging about the bottle.
I have noticed some subliminal messaging over the course of our work together. Oh
man, the ink is really on the wall on this turn. Yeah, you've got this fight bottled. Almost. What does that mean, Teak? That's not a real phrase.
It should be one. I like it.
It could be one. What about ever white noise?
I love white noise. I told you before
With Dead
that
Branch.
I was trying to convince people for the longest time that it was broken.
It's actually a pretty cool upgrade in this deck because it's a 0-cost card draw and card draw. It's a 0-cost double card draw.
Wonder if we
So
leave it
I
for the
can dig
second
it.
cycle though.
Against Snecko, it's not going to matter. Usually. Perhaps. So the 0 multicast there is actually really cool because it doesn't evoke an orb. You can use that to increment ink bottle.
I thought it did evoke it regardless.
It doesn't, and that's one of the rare cases to where it is arguably better to have the unupgraded multicast in some decks, because you can have these turns to where you rebound the multicast so that you can multicast next turn on a single orb, which is it's just a wacky interaction, right? It's just a wacky interaction.
I am extremely glad to know that that one exists. This not the best turn I've ever had in my life.
Oh, it's getting better.
Is it?
Well, we drew forward. I thought about Volnpot on this turn, but I think that we're saving that as a pillow or something. I don't know. We're gonna rehome it.
Yeah,
I'm not sure what we're saving that for.
I don't know what we're saving it for, but I also don't know what we're saving the strength potion for because little of our deck is attacks.
It's Tri-Slaver's next fight. Seriously,
Okay.
that they really can make a difference to just burn down a Slaver. To be able to go Vuln and Strength to kill backline on turn 1, that's what it's for. That could save you 20 life pretty easily, 20, 30.
This all does require us having the attacks on turn 1 for it to matter
Sure,
at all.
yeah, totally true. Do you play Hologram before Apotheosis? Do you play Apotheosis at all?
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out exactly what we would even bother doing this turn.
Oh, we can Hologram damage and just win.
No damage in the deck. Empty.
Oh, we just reshuffled? No, Hologram makes the damage. Hologram is dead branch.
Oh, because it...
Yeah.
Wasn't even thinking about
Build
the
us.
exhaust.
Oh, it's so close. If the defragment was too cost, it's there. So is it just defend then? Defend storm?
Yeah, just... Oh!
Bottle with the bailout.
Get him!
Thank you, Ink Bottle. I promise I've always loved you.
Friend bottle. I actually want to get rid of the fear potion for the
I think so.
fire here.
Yeah.
Definitely.
You know, it's curious. if Vuln Potion with Sacred Bark said apply 3 vulnerable twice instead of apply 6 vulnerable, that would make such a huge difference in being able to use Sacred Bark as a way to strip Artifact. Never thought about that.
It's strange. I never thought about the fact that you mentioned before of Defect having a lot of difficulty stripping Artifact from people, because I just always think of classes as being, weirdly, equally capable of doing that. I just never thought of that as a differential.
I think Defect is, of all the classes, the one that perhaps falls the furthest behind, and part of the reason is that the cards that Defect has that apply a debuff are not always great picks. They're somewhat incremental, versus like you're going to take that Shockwave on Ironclad. It's so universally good. And it's pretty easy to work in some weak sources to a core block set for Watcher, and Silent is Silent. You've got Poison to help get you through Artifact if all else fails, right?
Definitely.
So yeah, Defect falls a little behind there. But if you get it early on, and with things like All for One, it becomes a lot easier, because 1 Beam Cell and 1 Go for the Eyes and 1 All for One, there you go. You stripped all the Artifact.
I'm legitimately leaning a little bit towards the Consume.
Its biggest problem in this deck, if it had one, is that we are a little energy sparing for a big old 2-cost skill like that. And it's a big old 2-cost skill that does not produce us block. So we need to be sure that it does something meaningful to our damage. To be honest, I think this might be a card that we can produce with Dead Branch. I don't know that it matters every fight.
Okay. I agree that I don't think it would matter every fight, but I was just closer to the side of I think I would be able to use this.
Yeah, and you know what? If we didn't have Defragment, I think I would have turned. But since we did pick up a little bit of focus, I'm not feeling as desperate, I guess.
It's fair, definitely fair. Defends as good as a buffer right here.
We can do both. It's cool.
Yep. I was trying to think about some play that involved getting the draw
Hologram.
From the holo.
Yeah. But with that fire pot, this feels like this fight is solved, right?
Yeah. Extremely.
How are our genetics doing, by the way? Have we hit those? And I feel like we've hit those in most fights. I don't want to say we've been perfect, but I think we've been pretty good.
I believe we actually have been perfect.
Really?
They have one difference between them, and that's the one fight that I was like, can we play this without an upgrade?
Right. Wow. Oh, man. That is awesome. I mean, that's partly the size of the deck, I guess. Wicked.
Oh,
that's so huge. This card, it just does a job. It just does a job.
It does it too damn well.
I should note, too, part of the reason that I pushed back a little bit there on Consume is I am also trying to get better at listening to a deck when it tells me to stop. And that's what this deck has said to us, right? It's like, hey, seriously, we really do have an incredible block core right now and some good scaling plans. You really don't have to add much.
Yeah.
So... Which actually begs the question, what are the cards that we would want to add?
I find that very, very useful, because with my typical playstyle individually being a typically thinner deck, I would say, a large amount of the time I spend thinking of, does this deck generate everything that I need? Is there anything that would still help it at this point? And is that thing better than not having that thing? Is that thing better than just never drawing that thing in the deck because I don't have it? And I kind of turned off that sense as we started doing the streak, but I like this deck. The only things I really want are a little bit more focus, which was part of the reason for the Consume.
Focus? Oh, by the way, oh my gosh, Seek is incredible. Triple card draw or whatever if it's upgraded.
Yeah, gotta move.
Yo, nice. This time maybe it's Strike, actually. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, we can get rid of the Strength Potion, the Flex Potion. We'll never need them. Strike, get rid of it. I think.
Do we have enough defend that it's a defend?
No, because after we get rid of the ones that exhaust, like, we have a little bit of difficulty, actually.
And we're generating better strikes with our Dead Branch. I feel Strike here. We're about to eclipse 1,000 gold without having gotten I Am Rich, which is incredible. This Seek pickup was really, really good, by the way.
Have the Courier.
Yeah, it's awesome.
I want to hit the upgrade on the Seek for choosing my cards correctly.
Agreed. So here are the things if I do forecast out ahead while you set up against champ.
Go for it.
Because I have been looking at this deck trying to think, what are our weaknesses, right? I agree with you, a little bit more focus and actually a loop, you know, some way to breadth and width is, or sorry, breadth and width. Height and breadth is usually how I talk about thinking about your orbs. Height is focus, right? How do I make one orb do more? And width is how do I get effectively more orbs? And I do think that we care about that. And surprisingly, I would say that I still would take a frost orb, a single source like a cool-headed here, specifically to have just a little bit of a better fight against the heart and to finesse a little harder with things like static discharge. So card draw, focus, a little width, and then just a way to... Because static discharge can kill the heart as long as we are sure that we can sustain well enough throughout it. Maybe Birdface Turn was the reason that we should have taken creative AI. But I think we did okay to not do so.
Yeah.
I think it's okay. I think it's okay. It's an infinite heal, theoretically, in the right fight, but we seem to be okay without it.
Yeah, it does seem like we're pulling along pretty well, at least.
Dead Branch can find us all our answers. Maybe it's just a bunch of double energies, man, like you said. Put a handful more good exhaust cards in this deck, and we will find every answer to every fight.
I think we might want to bias and just start building the Dark Orb.
Yeah, I like it.
Okay,
this turn sure makes us feel like we can take another turbo.
I'm gonna do that, dual cast, and then recurse you back to the back.
Sure.
Play one more card as well. Okay.
Nice bottling.
One of my favorite things about the voids in this deck is they exhaust and give us the new card for the next hand. Oh,
so good. Just compiling 2 energy turns into 2 energy turns. But you know what? 2 energy with more options is frequently better than 3 energy with none. Which is a weird thing about this game, right?
Oh god, I have static discharge live. Oh god. I need to defend.
No, but we got good cards to do it, right? We can turbo reboot as an example, and that's already a pretty strong little play. Because it exhausts.
Yeah, I just don't know how much defense we end up here. Oh, there we go. We got a buffer at least. Oh.
Plenty. We're the strongest in the game.
Woo! We're okay still. We need to not play another skill lest we lose the Dark Orb that we're gestating here at the moment.
Gestating?
Yeah.
We're ruminating on this small hexagos.
It will be born at one point.
You have to chew on it. Very gritty.
Skim just through the deck?
Sure. Do you want to recurse it? No, we're just going to win, right? We're about to phase shift pretty soon. 210, I guess.
Yeah. Super vulnerable as well.
What if you went turbo rebound recursion? Wild. We have buffer.
What if I just don't play any more cards until I just blow up multicast?
Sure. That works.
Because, like, with the 7 damage a turn, I think we can just afford not to get him to the 210 until we kill him.
No, I agree. It turns like these, you know, it's one of those moments to where you start to ask yourself, should I turn in and play a very aggressive evoke heavy path? Or alternatively, do I want to just try to sit on my laurels? And the reason that I wasn't sure is the deck has generated hands like this, in which case being able to play cards is pretty good, but I think you could literally just in turn here and it would be fine.
The only problem is that Dark Orb gets lost next time we end up having to do that. Play the Core Surge. Play the Core Surge. Get the enemy locked out of their
that's good.
Turn in 2 turns time.
Yeah, I like that.
Actually, in 1 turn's time, right? Take 5.
We should reboot. Because if we see multicast, we just win. Or do we wait?
Okay. If nothing else, it gets us closer to multicast, right?
Right. Well, we were exactly at the shuffle point, so it kind of comes out even. Oh, but it comes out ahead. Yep, because we drew.
Yeah.
GG.
GG, Teak.
1,000 gold. No, I am rich. I have never achieved this before. This is a first for me.
I actually get this on the reg.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, this is crazy business. Are you kidding? Golden Idol, Old Coin, Courier, and we just a mall bank and we just don't go to shops.
I'll tell you why it happens to me. It's because I'll go down a path with a bunch of question marks and I'm like, one of these will be a shop. And then it's
and
not.
You just don't. Right. How do you feel about Fission?
Fission gives us a card back. I like it.
And it's acceleration. It's drawn acceleration. That's what we need. Oh my.
Ooh. Yeah, it's gotta be.
I really like Pyramid here. I'm with you. I think Pyramid here is really strong. Now we take more turbo.
Is there any other...
That means that we might want to be hunting for like a multi-merchant path for removals.
I like it. Oh, perfect.
I like it a lot. We have genetic algorithms too. It helps us align them against the heart fight.
Mm-hmm.
I think this Runic Pyramid is very strong. You're not going to hear me often say that Runic Pyramid is not strong, unless we've already got Snecko Eye or something, but I think it's particularly good here. Defect loves the Pyramid.
Mm-hmm.
Plus, they have similar styling and colors. Accident?
Oh, I see.
Maybe they're made out of the same flight metal.
I've very rarely seen pyramids fly, is the thing.
How often do you see Defect fly?
In the turbo card.
Sometimes believing is seeing, Rhapsody.
You're right. We'll have to see whether or not we believe that in the next episode. Link in the description down below. Hope to see that.